Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are live for the MUFC Unfiltered podcast. I'm with my brothers in the building, minus a couple, but you know, big up to them. Flawless and Andy couldn't make it today, but it's all love. We'll see them hopefully next week. We got Double A in the building. Double A, what kit are you wearing? Is that a Brazil kit?
Training top, yeah, from the last.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Represent our amazing Brazilians that we've got in the team, mate. You know.
Oh yeah, I don't know, man. You might be the real Brazilian. I don't know about our Brazilians, mate. You know what I mean? Obviously, hold tight, Casemiro, but I don't know about Antony. You might be the. You might be better than Antony. Get that Brazil top on and get on our football pitch, mate. You'll be better than Antony.
I'm more of a Tommy Gotcha than a fidget spinner, mate. So it's one of them, really. I don't really.
Oh god,
no,
man.
Really, no.
But no,
big
up to you for coming on.
Thank you for having us on. Big up to Ash as well. Big up to the best chat on YouTube. It's good to be back for another Unfiltered podcast. Ending/starting the week in the best possible way, as always. So, as always, you got to say, smashing the like when you come in, guys. You know, it's only polite. Get the stream off to the perfect start by smashing a like and subscribing to Saeed, obviously.
Absolutely. We've got Ash in the building. Ash, how's your bonfire night going? You know, it's all kicking off outside, but United, you know, we got the win, but yeah, man, how you been, bro?
Yeah, all good, mate. This is the first time I've come on with a win, so I'm happy. Do you know what I mean? You know,
do you know what I mean?
That's the first time I've been on with a win. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that's how bad it's been for us these past couple of weeks. Do you know what I mean? So, different experience, innit? Let's see how it goes.
Nah, definitely, man. But listen, man, we've got a lot to discuss. Big up to everybody in the chat. Make sure you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get your chats in. Get whatever you want to talk about, because it's going to be an unfiltered podcast, you know what I mean? We tell it how it is on the channel. But I want to discuss Højlund. I know we can talk about the game yesterday. It wasn't the most glamorous game to talk about. And I know we'll talk about it within the kind of subject. But Double A Højlund, he's only got one goal. Sorry, Champions League. He's got 3 goals in the Champions League. No goals in the Premier League. Are you concerned? Are you worried for him? How do you feel for him? Like, because I feel like for me, it's been frustrating for him. A lot of dog work, a lot of running around, but not enough like chances. I think there was a stat saying United failed to create like a chance or something like that for him. I forgot the stat. You know, you might have to correct me if I'm wrong.
Last 3 games or something.
Yeah. It's not surprising, bro. It's not surprising. Strikers come to Old Trafford to die. That's literally. and hope and dreams and all that kind of stuff and careers. Technically, we don't create chances for our strikers, and we knew that in the summer. We knew he would have to show. I think he's shown enough promise, endeavour, willing. He's very, very raw, but we knew that going in that he's a young player. We all wanted a more experienced striker above him to help him and guide him. As you know, you need that sort of older player and that younger player coming through. That's why obviously you wanted Kane, Erik Ten Hag. But it's no surprise to me that Højlund's getting a lot of flack and, you know, getting dragged off in games before players who are playing worse than he is. I think he's really good, mate. And I think, you know, once we play players like Palistri, the players that want to create for others and not want to be creating for themselves, i.e. Antony. Well, Antony don't really do anything. So but I'm sure we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that in a little bit. But Rashford certainly wants to create for himself rather than other players. And Garnacho, for me, is in a similar mold, although he does have a little bit more unselfishness tendencies about him. But listen, the kid for me is very, very good. He'll prove to be a fantastic player in the future. You know, he's still very rough and raw, and we are molding him. But he's joint top scorer in the Champions League, regardless of how shit we've been in the Champions League. You know, it's not easy to score goals in the Champions League, and he scored 2 against Bayern. Was it Bayern he scored 2 against? And then he scored 1 against Galatasaray.
No, he scored 1 against Bayern, 2 against
Galatasaray. That's it.
Galatasaray, yeah.
So, I mean, listen, he can only do what he can do in this team. And, you know, Cavani, so many strikers have struggled in this team. He's just another one that's adding to the list, unfortunately, until, you know, I'm very excited to see if Palistri is now given a chance in the team, which he should. And even Ahmad looks like he's coming back at the videos we've seen today. He looks like he's getting closer and closer. You know, your best mate, Saeed, looking closer to coming back to the team. These are 2 players that will look to create chances for a number 9 or other players other than themselves. So until we start to do that, and still our forwards start to be a little bit less selfish and looking to create for the main man. He is the main man. He's the reason why he's playing number 9, because he's the main man. That's who you want to provide. You know, City always, although they can score plenty of goals, they do look to provide for, you know, Haaland. And it's the same for every big team. They look for their number 9. United are the only team that doesn't seem to do it, unfortunately. And I do feel sorry for the kid, for sure.
Absolutely, man. You know what it is with me? Yeah, I look at the way we're playing right now. It's a lot of hoofball, and he's not the guy you want to. A lot of people think that he's good in the air. I think he's good with his on the ball on the ground. I think he's got very, very good feet. I think he's quick. I don't know why we don't try and play that ball in behind a lot to him. You know, it's a lot of hoofball to Højlund. You know, and you know what's happening straight away. Bassi was getting on top of him and trying to bully him. And listen, he can only do for so long, and that's my issue, is that we're not got the ball on the ground. We're not playing football. You know, I think United have got the kind of highest rate in terms of winning the ball high up the pitch, but they're also bad at giving the ball away. So Ash, I mean, where do you think he needs help? Because I feel like for me, like nobody's selfless. Everyone wants to just, you know, who for a shot, like, you know.
You know what it is? He just needs the ball in the box. I mean, when do you ever see him with the ball at his feet in the box? He's never, you know, when you consider all the amount of chances that Bruno creates, and, you know, over the last couple of years, he's one of the best at creating chances and stuff. We're not seeing him create those chances for Højlund. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why the partnership and the creativity is not being built between those two. You'd hope that would be, you know, on the training ground, and they'd be running routines over and over again to kind of get themselves accustomed to each other, and, you know, being Bruno to feed the ball into him more often. But we're not seeing it, and we're not seeing it from Antony on the right-hand side, or whoever's been there at the moment. You know, Bruno's even struggled to provide him with service off the right. And, you know, fullbacks don't create chances, do they? Do you know what I mean? You look at across the league and you see the likes of, you know, Trent Alexander-Arnold, obviously, you know, the best in the world for that kind of stuff. But, you know, our fullbacks generally, Delo yesterday had more shots than anyone else on the field. Do you know what I mean? He had more shots than anyone else. That's the,
you
so
don't
the
want
lows
that to happen, though. We don't want that. We don't want that.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? So, but what that shows what his priority is. His priority is to shoot. It's not to pass the ball. Do you know what I mean? It's not to, feed his striker and stuff. And we've spent, I don't know if you know, but we've spent 200 million on the right wing spot in the last 4 years. Dan James, Antony, Sancho, Pellistri, and Ahmad. 200 million. Yeah, it looks like we need to spend at least another 100 million there. Do you know what I mean? Missed out on players like Diaby, missed out on Doku, missed out on some top players on that right-hand side. Okay, there was talk of maybe going in for Sane and stuff and maybe moving Kingsley Coman over there, but we ended up with Antony. And what worries me about that is the fact that you look at Erik Ten Hag, he knew Antony. He saw 2 seasons with Antony. He saw, 18 months, whatever. He saw him on the training ground every day, and yet he still bought him. He still was happy to kind of, what's the word, like, just agree to spending 80 million. Do you know what I mean? So to me, it's frustrating that, and you look at his numbers in the Eredivisie, and it's clear to see when he was coming over that the teams that he'd scored against, they weren't scoring against PSV, and he weren't scoring against Feyenoord and stuff. He was against the mid-table. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he was scoring, and his stats were horrendous. So then to believe that all of a sudden they'd translate into, creating better stats in the Premier League, madness that. And he's confused. And I just feel sorry for Højlund because really he's not getting the service. We know with Rashford, he wants to take it on his own and score. And maybe that's because, yeah. So I don't know, man. I don't know what we do with him. What I'd personally do is I'd stick Mount on the right. I'd stick Mount on the right and kind of create some interlink and interchange between him and Bruno and try and feed him that way, kind of trying to create a little bit of service with balls into the box. We saw with Pellistri yesterday, him kind of fight but I worry about Pellistri. I feel like he doesn't create enough. These numbers just aren't there in the final third. So I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He's a lot of work rate, but just not enough kind of end product maybe in that regard. Yeah.
Adam Traore. Adam Traore, do you know what I mean? Look mint until the final third. Once you get into the final third, there's nothing. Alain St. Maxim as well. You look at Alain St. Maxim at Newcastle, he looked mega on the ball, looked fantastic, scored his best ever season with like 4 goals and about 3 assists. Do you know what I mean? He's just one of them players that kind of like, flatters to deceive. Yeah, I don't know what.
I've noticed though that yesterday it happened, and I've noticed it in a game. I can't remember which one it was at Old Trafford. But we started putting balls into the box once Højlund went off. You think of that chance that Martial had?
I know, it's crazy.
And then obviously Pellistri's getting into the box, and that's how he creates the goal for Bruno. You think, why are we doing it when our striker is off the pitch?
But Martial as well, do you know what I mean? Martial's got no physical presence. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what's the point?
What are we doing? But one player I'm looking forward to seeing Højlund play with, and you can say what you want about him, but Luke Shaw. I think when Luke Shaw's back in the team, I think we want to start to see some balls into the box to Højlund. I think he's a good crosser with the ball. Luke Shaw doesn't do it enough for me, but when he does it, he's invariably decent at doing so. So I'm looking forward to seeing Shaw back in the team for that instance. But it's scary how bad
what it is, though?
Number 9's look in this team. Scary.
Yeah, you got Rashford. I think Rashford is kind of shoot first. I think Garnacho, he wants to beat him, man. To be fair, Garnacho did well to put a ball in the box the other day. I mean, Pellistri as well, he's a bit on the byline, but then obviously, and Antony, we'll get on to Antony later on, but like, we haven't got players that are just fundamentally helping him as well. Bruno Fernandes this season, I don't know what's going on, but his creativity numbers, I mean, that assist he got from McTominay, that's not really, creating a chance and assist, is it? You know what I mean? We need to see more from him as well. He's not been the same player. He's been pushed out wide as well. Mount, is it a creative player? As much as we say in Mount, is he a creative player? So we haven't got, and Eriksen is that creative player, but then again, he gets played 1 game, he's out. 1 game, he's playing number 6 role. So how is Højlund going to get any sort of, connection when the team, he doesn't know his best team. He doesn't know who he's playing with. You're looking at De Bruyne. Haaland knows De Bruyne will be there most times in the season. I know he's injured now, but he knows 10 times out of 10, it's De Bruyne. And then Jesus, it's Odegaard. I know Odegaard's having a great season, but you see what I mean? Maddison, Tottenham with Son. They know. It's telepathic, like they know who's playing behind them. Højlund now, 1 minute it's this player, 1 minute it's that player, 1 minute it's here. He's just thinking, hold on a minute, how do I gain a bit of consistency when I don't know who I'm playing with? And that, for me, it's not good enough.
Building a partnership.
You know?
It's almost like your front two, back in the 90s when you used to play 4-4-2, you think of York and Cole. They had that partnership link-up play. They knew exactly where each other were to play the ball into dangerous areas. That's what a number 10 ability does now with a striker. Like you say, he's not been able to do that. And it's not a coincidence to me that Bruno looked better yesterday when Pellistri comes on, because he's a player that wants to go and beat a man, and he wants to put the ball, not have to cut back in, check back inside, play it back, play it in, wants to get to the byline, wants to put a dangerous ball into the box. There's a lot of calls for Antony, and again, it's someone that we're going to touch up on a lot. I'm assuming, but there's a lot of calls for Antony to be tried on the left, so he can't cut back in, and he has to just get to the byline and put the ball in with his stronger foot. I mean, I mean, at this moment in time, it can't hurt, can it? It genuinely cannot hurt. I think, if you played Antony on the left, Pellistri on the right, or even Garnacho on the right, on the stronger feet, because our fullbacks do not overlap. I think, again, Delors was doing it after Højlund went off yesterday, like late on in the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's crazy to me that as a right back, he looks better at left back, even though I don't rate him at all, to be fair. But there's a problem in this team you've seen it all season. The bravery out of this team is absolutely gone. Like, people were trying to tell me Garnacho played well.
I know. I
thought he was scared. He was playing within himself. He didn't have a bad game, but I don't think he was great by any stretch of the imagination. I think, he, at the moment for me, when a right back is on him, like Castagna was, you think of the Wolves game, Semedo, when he feels like a right back might have a bit of an edge over him, for me, he withdraws and he doesn't look like the player that we think he can be. So I thought he could have come off a lot earlier yesterday. And even it pains me to say it, and I fully back anyone trying to cut me in the comments because I deserve it. But at this moment in time, let's just even try Martial on the left. I don't see how. No, because because at the moment, literally there's zero creativity. Like, at this moment, what you're trying to do is just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. That's literally where we are.
You know what someone said? Someone said today, I was watching a podcast. They were saying, like, Højlund maybe isn't a striker and he's more suited on the wing, and he put Højlund on the right hand side, and maybe that would work because he is quick. He has got that bit of trickery. He can get past the man. Do we put Højlund on the right just to kind of?
You know what? Any striker in this system's getting no service. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those. You've seen it. How many times you've seen year after year, United strikers having to drop deep. You started to see that with Højlund. Højlund coming in and dropping a little bit deeper, trying to pick up the ball and get involved in the play. Do you know what I mean? And it's one of those where he's just not being given the service. You look at Garnacho again. I feel like, okay, he didn't have the best game yesterday, but it was an improvement on Rashford. You can't deny that. It was an improvement on Rashford, weren't it? He at least looked like he was attempting to run at men, and defensively looked much better. And he looked like he was providing his fullback with a little bit of cover. But Højlund himself, we're never going to see the best of him until we start feeding the ball to his feet. And McTominay again, he's one of those players in our forward line, which really, okay, he's dropped into the six a few times, but usually he wants to play higher up, doesn't he? He wants to get into the box, he wants to score goals. And whenever he's in those opportunities, not looking for a man, he's looking to score himself. And how many times do you see from United over the years that cutback or that just simple pass sideways? Do you know what I mean? Just to put someone into a better position, play the percentages, a higher percentage shot. We take these wild shots from like 18, 20 yards constantly, in the hope that some kind of, it's Moments FC, as we've said for, forever, essentially. Yeah, hoping for these shots. And Garnacho's been the same. Antony, I mean, to be fair, I think he had 65 minutes on the field yesterday, yeah? Didn't have one shot on target, didn't create one chance. I mean, what is that? And that's what Højlund's going to deal with.
Yeah. And Garnacho, he's still learning his trade. Rashford as well is in poor form. He's not really looking to pass to anyone. I mean, you know what, man? You got to feel for the kid, man. Like, I will say he should have done better maybe at Sheffield United, that chance what he had where he should have made
across the box
over the keeper. Yeah, he should have done. But you know what? Haaland, has so many opportunities. Like, he missed, you know how many chances Haaland missed on Saturday? Did anyone watch the game? We missed a lot of chances, but nobody will talk about that because he scores a lot of goals. Now, Højlund is getting a fraction of them chances, so it makes it look as more bad. It makes it look worse than it is. Like Højlund is not a bad striker, but the problem is though, is a volume of chances. If he's getting, let's say, 20 chances and he's not scoring any, I'm gonna be like, yo, what have we bought? But we're talking about 2 or 3 chances. You've got to be a bagsman with that. Nah, you're being so harsh on the kid, man. Like, to be clinical with 1 or 2 chances. The last 2 games, like I said to you, he's had what? We've barely created anything for him. Last 3 games.
Nothing.
So
nothing at all.
What is there?
And he's not Darwin Núñez, is he? Do you know what I mean? He's not getting the chances and those horrendous misses. Yeah, he's just not being given the chances. You put Højlund into that Liverpool team, you put him into that City team. He's getting goals. Same in the Arsenal team. He's getting goals, and that's kind of it's indicative. You see opposition fans not saying anything about him, not calling him out because essentially we all know he's just not getting any chances. He's not getting any opportunity, and he's not going to do anything. The only thing that I would like to see more from him, and we saw this when Van Persie came in, and I know it was a long time ago now, but those strikers that demand the ball. And I want to see that more from him. I want him to demand the ball, to be screen. When he's not getting off Antony, when he's not getting off Bruno, Garnacho, whoever, he's going in on him. But maybe that's just because a bit of his youth, and we need a more experienced striker for him to learn that from. Which apparently has been talks in January. We are looking for that experienced striker, but that's what I want to see from him.
Yeah, I heard about that player.
Barbosa.
Gabriel Barbosa.
No, he's a party man.
Did he go to AC Milan? He failed at
Inter Milan. Inter Milan.
Inter.
And then
man.
When he was going out with Neymar's sister, wasn't he, at one point and stuff like that? So
was he?
Yeah.
I think he was linked with Icardi's misses as well. Do you know what I mean? I think there was a little bit there, so that's why they got him off. Got rid of him.
He's a party boy.
But
he's
man.
Party boy. Like, don't get me wrong. Obviously, like I say, obviously love Brazilian players, and he's good. He's good for Flamengo. Obviously, won them the Copa Libertadores a few years back. But Premier League, he won't cut it. He absolutely will not.
Yeah, I'm desperate for us to get it right with a Brazilian player. Do you know what I mean? The amount of Brazilian players we had. When has one done well? You could say Anderson for like a season. Got to the Champions League, a bad boy season. Yeah. But other than that, we've had nothing Brazilian. Raphael.
Sold too soon.
So way too soon. Yeah.
LBG. Blood on your
he's not one for me. Like I said, this season, 23 games, 5 goals, 1 assist. He was honestly, there was a season, like I said to you, he was at Inter Milan, and he didn't really do anything over there, man.
No. So he played a couple of games and he was shipped off on loan, I think, to Benfica. He wasn't really given a chance. I think it was a move far too soon in his career. I think if it had been 2 or 3 years later, I think he started at Santos as well, and
they were saying he was going to be the next Neymar. Do you know what I mean? He was hyped. He was a wonder kid. They were calling him Gabigol and all that, and he was going to be the next wonder kid.
He actually has Gabigol. He actually has Gabigol on the back of his shirt as well. Believe it or not,
no way.
Proper, proper believes in himself, which is fair, but. I'd go and get what's the kid who scored yesterday? Bloody John Kennedy. These Brazilian names, by the way, long gone is Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Dunga, Fred, it's Antony, it's John
Dead
Kennedy,
names.
and Hendrick. What's going on here, man? Vinny, mad, absolutely mad. But there's a lot of good Brazilian players coming through their league at the minute. You see Hendrick's going to go to Real Madrid. They're probably going to have the 3 best Brazilians up top.
Rodrigo looks the
Rodrigo, love him. Vinny, madman. David Washington as well, who's gone to Chelsea as well. Another highly rated player. I can't remember his name, but the one that's going to Barcelona in Jan or in the summer. There's loads, and we're going for one that's
Vitor Cruz.
No, I don't think so. I can't remember.
Vitor, something in it.
Vitor, Vitor.
He's going to Barcelona, isn't he?
The one that's going to Barcelona. There's so many coming through.
Honestly,
so many players.
And we're getting a guy who's washed in Brazil. Come on, man.
That's
United.
I would say he's washed.
Nah, he's washed, man. He's washed, man. Come on, man. He's washed, man. You can't be Brazil.
Rocky, that's the one. Vitor Rocky.
In your prime as well, man. We're not talking about the Rodri player. We're talking about in your prime and you're chilling in Brazil. Nah, man, not for me, man.
I hear that.
Another signing, we make a mistake in. MFL0L. Big up to everybody who sent the super chats in. I watched 35-year-old William have fun on the wings. It won't be making our midfield for fun. Pereira bullying us, and we're supposed to be happy. We will get into that. We will definitely get into the kind of feeling, because I seen a lot of people saying, Man United are back and whatnot. And I do emphasize it wasn't a great game. We're happy with the 3 points. Don't get me wrong, but I think there was still a lot of things that we could work on. But ultimately, with the Højlund situation, though, I mean, do we end up buying a new striker? Like, Tony is available. Is it a priority? Because I feel like there's other parts in our team that are priority as well. And you have to understand how much money we've got as well. And whether we will have any money and whether we do. Because for me, we're wasting it on Mount. So this idea that Man United want a striker, they will end up missing out on a midfielder or maybe even a defender as well.
Said, our attacking players have scored 1 goal this season in the Premier League. 1 goal.
Yeah.
There's no bigger priority than scoring goals for this team. We struggled last season. We're really struggling now. Your Rashford's goals have dried up. We're not getting anything from anywhere else. I don't think, personally, for me, there's a bigger priority right now than getting a striker in to help Højlund. Like, he can't just have it all on his shoulders. It's so unfair to throw a 21-year-old kid under the bus because we couldn't go and get Harry Kane. We couldn't go and get another striker. It's criminal what we're doing to him. And 008 jokes and all this shit. And United fans telling me he's shit. It's like, how do you come to that conclusion saying Højlund's shit with, despite the output or the lack
he hasn't had the opportunity to be shit, has he? No, do you know what I mean? He hasn't had opportunity to be shit. We can't.
Overall play,
he can't see.
He looked aggressive. He worries defenders. That cameo against Arsenal, I don't think we could believe.
Oh yeah, mega.
How he made 2 of the best defenders in the league shit the pants.
We should have had a penalty, by the way. Do you know what I mean? You look at that Rodri.
Yeah. Against Gabriel, sure, apparently, and it's crazy to think, another player coming and I'm not defending Antony in any way, but this is the biggest stick that he's beaten with is his price. It's going to happen to Højlund unless we start to play to Højlund's strengths. He's the number 9. You play to your striker's strengths because you want him to be bagging you the goals, and it's already been mentioned. His price tag. Like, let's not throw another young career under the bus like we have with so many at this club. It's scandalous what we do.
That's the issue, isn't it? And that's the thing. And you know what it is? That just shows you where we're at right now, where I think with Antony, he's now helping the wingers because the wingers are not really doing well as well. So it's like, who are we trying to help here? We're trying to help the striker score goals, or we're trying to help the wingers get back into form. Because you got Rashford who's not scoring goals as well. Because you got to remember, Rashford was the main man last season for goals. And there wasn't really a striker there. So maybe number 9's like Man United forgotten. Like, before, back in the day with Ruud van Nistelrooy, Wayne Rooney, you'd rely on it. Even Berbatov would score. Was he not our highest top goal scorer in 2010, 11 season?
Golden Boot winner on that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think this do you reckon Man United, not even just as a fan base, but just in general ourselves, we've had mediocre signings like, fair play to Igalo, he tried, but Cavani was a bit of a miss, really, let's be honest with you. Ronaldo came in again, scored a few goals, but didn't make us better as a team. Maybe us as a fan base, we're not, and even the players, they don't understand how to play with a striker. And the manager's now realizing that with Martial. I remember he played with Vegas last season as well. Maybe the manager doesn't know what to do with a striker as well.
But all these players play with strikers in international teams. They know how to play with a striker. I think you're giving him a pass there, Saeed, to be fair to you, mate. I think, you're looking for an easy excuse. Sorry, I have to jump in there, mate. But
no worries, mate.
Go on. You go on. You say what you want to say.
Yeah, no, I was saying, we're a club that's kind of we've got our foundations. We're having top strikers. You look at the Trinity. Dennis Law and that. You look at Andy Cole. Dwight York. Teddy Sheringham. Ruud van Nistelrooy. Robin van Persie. We have our great number 9s. And when's our last great number 9? You could maybe point to Ibra, but Ibra was, past his day, unfortunately. We got 1 good season out of him and, half a season. But in regard to replacing him, we've not gone out there and Andy Cole, when we bought Andy Cole, again, we're going back to, ancient times and all that. But when Andy Cole was coming through, we bought him. You know, we saw him score 30 plus goals in the league, and we're like, right, get him. Cantona, get him. Do you know what I mean? That should have been Harry Kane for us. That should have been Harry Kane for us. Okay, it's gone now, it's done. But we've never really paid in the last, well, since Sir Alex left, we've never paid attention properly to the striker role. We've always kind of had the bit part players in there, putting in N'Galo and Cavani and you know and others and Weghorst and that. And we really need to get back to getting ourselves, because you look at the top teams. You look at Man City. They've got their striker, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? They've got Haaland. You look at Bayern Munich. They've got Kane. We've got Højlund, an unproven kid from Atalanta. Don't get me wrong, he looks fantastic, but spending 67 million on an unproven kid from Atalanta, that's not going to get you anywhere, really, is it? He need to supplement Harry Kane, and okay, maybe he might not have wanted to come to Manchester United and stuff, but then you go and get someone like an Ivan Toney. Do you know what I mean? You see he's smashing up the league with Brentford, looking outstanding in that team. You put him in an Arsenal team, you put him in a Liverpool team, put him in a United team. He's going to bag goals. You just know he is. Do you know what I mean? You go get yourself a proper striker, and that's something where it's been a little bit of a blind spot for us over the last couple of years. And we used to have that blind spot in midfield. And right now, it's one of those where we're only scoring one goal across our forward line. And you look to Højlund, and don't get me wrong, like I said, he's a young kid and stuff, but there is no guarantee there. We need players that are going to guarantee us goals, and that's a situation that you see Arsenal struggling with at the moment. They're buying Gabriel Jesus, who he wasn't. Put it this way. If they would have had, if they themselves would have had a Harry Kane or a top international striker, someone like an Osimhen or whatever, Arsenal top of the league, easy, no messing about. You look how well Spurs are doing. Don't get me wrong. I know Heung-min Son isn't a dedicated striker, and he's never kind of like trained to play that position, but he's got all the attributes that makes a top striker, hasn't he? He's controlling the box, his shooting ability, his movement, he's got everything. Heung-min Son, so he was always destined to play that kind of role. You don't see that with Rashford. Rashford's first touch is a little bit sus, and do you know what I mean? He's controlling the ball at times, getting the ball, pinged into him. He's not a player that's going to get the ball into the box, turn a man, like we saw with Ruud and RVP and, the great strikers. Even Cavani, when Cavani came into it, do you remember how fresh now, how great he looked in those first couple of weeks and that, like, we've got a striker finally. We're in that situation again. And maybe Højlund's that kid, but we'll never know until he gets service.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And the thing, the biggest thing is Antony, and we have to discuss him now, man. It's been too long. We've been not mentioned. Antony's the worst Brazilian to ever play in the Premier League. Is Antony worse than? Is he worse than Bebe? Because what's mad, yeah, Bebe. We've had Bebe, Obertan. Who have we had in terms of the worst wingers at the club? It was bad as well.
David Bellion.
Bellion, yeah.
Kieran Richardson.
Yeah.
Kieran Richardson, to be fair, he left early, didn't he?
He did. But still, he never went on to do anything, did he?
No.
No.
You know what? Yeah, man, I can't lie to you, man. They were better than him, man. They were all better than him. You know what I'm saying? You know what? You know what's mad, yeah? Every United fan used to, I don't know how people used to rate Antonio Valencia, but I loved Antonio Valencia. You get you go wide. Yeah, he was cold.
You knew what you was getting from him.
Yeah, you knew what you were getting from him. What are you getting from Antony? He can't cross.
Nobody knows.
He can't shoot. What are you getting from him?
But I don't think he knows.
Spent all that money on him.
Can I just say something in defense? Not in defense of him, but maybe just ask a provocative question. Playing devil's advocate and trying to see. Do you think that maybe he is suffering with all this that's going on around him? Everything that's going on in Brazil. Like, you think he dropped off a cliff in the middle? He dropped off a cliff in the middle of last season, which I'm sure would have been the start of this investigation, or these questions about him or whatever from Brazil. And he's come back from Brazil to play for the team rather than spending it. He wanted to get back as quick as possible, and he looks preoccupied. He doesn't look anywhere near. Even when he was last season, he still looked a little bit. There was signs of some progress, and I said on his side plenty of times, and I will say against him that in the Premier League, in English football, if you don't add variation to your game and you are seen as a one-trick pony, the fullbacks in this league will eat you up, because they will know exactly how to play against you, and you will suffer, which we have seen and which we are seeing now. But, you know, we talk about Sancho and everything that's going on with him, and he's almost given a free pass by certain fans because, oh my God, you know, what happened last season, and now United are adding to it and Ten Hag's adding to it. He must be, you know, he's got a right to say what he's got to say because of this, because of that. Maybe Ten Hag's putting his arm around Antony, and he's coming out in the week with some quotes about him, saying, you know, I put my arm around him, I trust him, I believe in him. Maybe that's because he knows Antony really is at the moment not in the right place mentally. And yes, that probably means he shouldn't be in the team and taking out the firing line. But he clearly likes the player a lot, and that's why he brought him in. He had him at Ajax, and we saw the video of when Ten Hag left Ajax. It was all them players were saying, you know, thank you so much, so much. And I think it was Antony was saying, I'll follow you wherever you go. And it's kind of a hint that he was coming to United, which he did. So I don't know. I just think, you know, yes, his performances are shocking, and I'm not defending that for 1 minute. He should be taken out of the team. Yesterday was an absolute disgrace, and he shouldn't have even come out for the second half. He's not offering anything going forward. It doesn't look like he wants to take on a man. He can't cross the ball at the minute. Even with his good foot, he doesn't look in the right place. All I'm saying is, could there be something other than what we know that could be affecting him when he's on the pitch?
See, you know why I don't buy into that? Last season he didn't pull any trees anyway. And B, I understand things can be off the pitch, can affect you on the pitch and whatnot, but I just look at the fundamentals of what he's trying to do. Like, you know, he can't even dribble. I think that's one thing that we knew last season he couldn't do. He can't beat a man. It's something that we knew last season before the allegations. Nothing's really improved. Nothing's really drastically changed. Like with Antony, it's almost as if you're just like, can you just get a successful dribble in? Can you cross something in for us? Can you make a chance? Like we're not even asking for anything crazy for Antony. We're just asking for the fundamentals of Antony. Say, right, can you do something for us? Can you, give us a chance? Give us something. That's all we're asking for from Antony. But he can't even do that. And the manager not saying he spent the money, but he thought that was the correct fit for Man United. And now all of a sudden, he's now taking him off the pitch and he's not really believing in him anymore. And, it's a waste of money, man. Another player.
You know what, Saeed? You know what? I feel like partly the reason why Ten Hag wanted him was kind of to set the mood in the dressing room as well. Because he was bringing in an attacker that was a hard-working attacker, was Ten Hag's man. And, we had players at the time that weren't kind of playing for the manager. It was kind of a bit of a rotten attitude within the dressing room. So I think that's partly why he wanted to bring him in to say, look, we've got this lad here, Brazilian, he's got his ability in the ball, but also he puts in a shift. He works hard, he's dedicated to his craft and all that. And that's great if he was providing the numbers, but then he hasn't done so. So now it's kind of irrelevant about him setting dressing room moods and all that. But I understand, you can have your issues off the field and that, but it feels when you look across, 30 miles down the road and that, and you look at Liverpool and Diaz, his mum and dad's getting kidnapped. He's going and banging in goals today. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's able to continue to perform and continue to kind of turn that off. His dad's whatever and that, but he's still being able to focus on the football field. You're looking and you're thinking, United were always making excuses for these players. If he's not right, then he'd take himself out of the team, take himself away from football. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, at that kind of crisis meeting he had with Ten Hag where it kind of all got swept under the rug and all that, he's obviously come back and said, I'm going to put my mind into the football. I'm going to focus. And unfortunately, we're just seeing the very best of Antony. And the very best of Antony isn't very good, unfortunately. He's never been great. He's had bit spells and moments, again, for Ajax, against mid-table teams and poor teams. He's a highlight player. And that's what worries me with Ten Hag most, is knowing that, he knew this player. He was fully aware what he was getting with Antony. And I try and excuse it again with him setting the mood of the dressing room. But Antony is never going to be a top tier player. You can see, you can clearly see he's not got the decision making. His ability on the ball is fine, but he's incredibly one footed, and we're just stuck in a situation where we've got to look for a replacement for him already after having spent 80 million on him. So Jared Bowen,
Jared
Bowen,
so clear.
Love him.
I would love Jared instead of Antony. Just go to show you, man. It's not always about names, man. Like we're always glamorized about names and Antony, Brazilian flair, but Gerard Bowen, man, I'm telling you, man, he scores goals, he creates goals. You know, he's a constant threat. He can play up front as well. We don't even have.
Hey, Saeed, you know what? Go compare his numbers. Go compare Jared Bowen's numbers with Saka's numbers. You proper shock. Like Jared Bowen's got better numbers than Saka. Do you know what I mean? And a much weaker team, that relegation fighting West Ham team and stuff. You know, surprising. He's a top draw player. Him, yeah, better numbers. Go and have a look at his numbers. He'll shock you. Something about he's got something like 60 odd in 130, and compared to Saka with 50 odd in 130. So yeah, and you look at him. He's got the quality. He's got the ability. He's got the work rate. He's got everything. Jared Bowen. But again, how much is he going to cost from West Ham? You know, if Declan Rice is going to cost 100 million, you know, Jared Bowen's going to cost us 80. But you know, we've spent 80 on Antony. You know, fidget spinner who's, you know, not scoring goals and not assists, not creating any chances. 65 minutes he had on the field yesterday, did nothing.
Oh man,
I think
players like Jared Bowen. Sorry, but I'm gonna say players like Bowen get to big teams and flop, man. Like, I think he'd just be another Dan James, honestly. Like,
oh no,
he's
much better than that.
No, I'm not saying he's not a better player, but
he's better. He's a better player, man. You're giving him not just.
Of course, he's a better player than Dan James. I'm not saying that, but it's one of them that gets hyped up because he's British. And again, we bring like Mason Mount, we bring him in, he does fuck all. We've seen it too many times. And we would buy him on the fact he's had a great season. He comes to United. And
he's had a few good seasons. Jared Bowen has been consistent for a while now. He's been consistent for a while, Jared Bowen.
Goals every season. 10 plus goals every season off the right. Do you know what I mean?
Mitoma for me. I love Mitoma. I would love Mitoma at United. But apparently it's not a sexy name. For United fans, they're like, no, but it's not sexy enough. You know what I mean?
The Japanese, the Japanese lad that we need to buy is Kubo, you know, Real Sociedad. I think he's got 7 in 9, 7 in 10. He'd be the man I'd go for, Kubo. He's got the pedigree. You know, he came through Real Madrid system and that, and it feels like he's going to be one of them stars where Real Madrid looks back and was like, we let him go too early, like Eto'o when they let him go to Mallorca and then he ended up at Barca and stuff. And I feel like he's going to be one of them where Real Madrid look back and think, we let him go a little bit too early. And you know what? Getting him from Real Sociedad as well, it potentially get him for way cheaper than you going for Jared Bowen. But that is a player there. That we should be looking at, really.
Look at Anthony Gordon from Everton. He's coming into a big club like Newcastle. We're underestimating Newcastle and the size of Newcastle. I know it's not Man United yet, but you still have to come to Newcastle and basically become the main man. And you know what? He's excelled in that position. Come for a big price. He could have been at Chelsea, by the way. Chelsea could have signed him a couple of years ago. But
was it 50 million?
I don't know why they did. Yeah, 50 million. You know what it is, man? I look at him and I'm like, the guy was getting into the midfield. He was the way he was carrying the ball, bro. Like, you don't have to be this unbelievable shoot outside the box. Do you make the team play better? I want players that make the team play better. That's what I want. Like, the stats and everything, it's great. You got all these stats and whatnot, but are you good for the team? I look at that's why I feel like sometimes Donny van der Beek's quite a sad story, because he's a player that I think the United would have benefited from in terms of the system, everything like that. He should never got a look in. And when he has got a look in, it's just been, he hasn't maybe took it, or, it's not worked out from injuries as well. I remember when he was doing well, I think it was the last season or something, he got a big injury. I just look at our team, I think, do we have players that make us play better? We don't. Every single one wants to play for themselves, and that's not good enough for a team like Man United. And that's why I say with our wingers, Amad Diallo, for me, will make our team play better. But will he get an opportunity? No. That's the problem. And this is why I think, the manager has to look at it. What does he go for? Does he go for players that look better? Or is he going for what he's doing right now? Is that the guys that maybe bailed him out last season and he keeps playing them no matter what? Rashford, he said it there. He said it in the interview. I will play Rashford regardless because, he's just the main guy. So,
you know what? That's worrying in itself. You look at Ten Hag and you think he played. He wanted to play. You're saying there with Rashford, he wanted to play him into form. Same with Antony. Why did he never try and play Sancho into form? Because Sancho, looking at just his core ability, he's far surpasses that of Rashford's and Antony. We saw that at Dortmund. You heard it from the City. that this kid is going to be spectacular. And he just was never given that chance to continue to play in the team and get himself up to fitness. Some professionals, some players, they're not training ground players. They're not the ones that put in 100% commitment in the training ground. We heard that from Rio Ferdinand with Carlos Tevez. So Alex Ferguson have to put him to a side, to a different group, because the way he trained, it'd affect the main group. So he'd just leave Carlos training by himself. But on match day, he knew that he could rely on him, and he'd run like a madman. Do you know what I mean? And same with Messi. Apparently, it was a player that isn't doing the running, isn't doing the drills as hard as everyone else. But when it comes to match day, he's there. Sancho, he's never been given that opportunity to. Well, I mean, Sancho's gone now, so I'm talking nonsense, really. But it's just frustrating to see that Antony's been given that chance. Do you know what I mean? Just Antony be giving chance after chance after chance with zero output. There's nothing from him, and we're stuck in a situation where.
But it's a good point, though, when you look at the wingers, though. And listen, people will say revisionism, Sancho didn't do enough in his shirt, but he had a good pre-season. He thought to himself, this season, this might be the year where I can get some consistency, and he's looking at the front line as well. He's looking at them, bro, like, why is Antony keep playing? Why is Rashford doesn't get dropped? That favoritism as well isn't healthy for the squad as well. And again, it puts that pressure. Can Antony have the pressure of playing week in, week out and having to deliver? We don't know what he's like inside. He might be putting up a front saying, yo, I can do it. I can be that guy. But really and truly, is he the guy? Does he really think he's the guy? Garnacho's a young
quality
kid.
Issue.
Rashford as well.
It's a quality issue. He's not got the quality. That's simple enough. We see how many times we see him cutting on his left foot and then putting a ball and it goes, rose head and all that. How many times does he find his man off the left foot when he does cut on the inside? He's not got that bravery, that courage to kind of attack a player. He can't use his right foot. Defensively now he's been a little bit suspect. His pressures are less than Rashford. And I mean, how many times is Rashford pressing? So if he's got less than Rashford, he's one of the worst pressers in our team. So what does Antony bring to the team at the moment? He's bringing nothing. And that's why you can understand why Ten Hag's played Bruno off the right-hand side from time to time. But it's one of those where we need to see a little bit more from Pellistri. I'm excited to see Ahmad back, but is he going to get in over Antony? And I feel like because Ten Hag spent that 80 million on him, he feels like, well, this is my mistake. I've got to kind of prove everybody wrong, or at least keep playing him until he gets into some kind of form because I bought him. He's my guy, so it's my reputation on the line if he doesn't play well. But it's going to cost Ten Hag in the long term because it's costing us results. It's costing us performances. You saw it yesterday. With Fulham. He did nothing, didn't he? And I doubt we'll see much from him. He's a max four goals, 4 assists a season player, and he doesn't add that enough to the team to justify staying in the team. So he's one that already we need to look to move on. So.
No, 100%, man. Guys, there's over 600 of you in here. I don't think we've even hit 300 likes, guys. So. You know what I mean? We need your support, guys. If you're watching right now and you don't know where the thumbs up button, it looks like this.
Smash the like.
Bottom right-hand corner. Smash the like button, people, man. Help the channel out. Adam, big up to Adam Fahimi for the super chat. He goes, I want players that make the team better. Absolutely bang on the money side. You're speaking my language now. Do you see where I'm coming from now? No, 100%. I've always saw where you're coming from. I just look at, what we need right now is that we're not getting the goals and we're not playing well. So it's like, what can we do? The front line have only scored, 1 goal this season, and that's from Rashford. And we're, 11 games in? It's mad, when you actually deep it. I think Everton have scored more goals than us. I don't even know how many Everton have scored, but,
Tahith Chong scored more goals than our forward line. Tahith Chong.
Wow.
Should get him back. I'll let him go. Do you know what I mean?
That's mad, when you think about it. And this is the thing, you could be struggling, but you should still have goals within your team. You should still have goals within your team. Even if you're struggling, I always think, when it gets low is when you don't see goals coming in. You know what I mean? Scoring more than 1 goal. That's an issue now for this Man United team. To score more than 1 goal, more than 2 goals, if that. There isn't that killer instinct. In the box, we're not. You know what I mean? You've got to be craving it. You know what I mean? You've got to be wanting it more. Lampard's got more goal involvement.
We're too slow. We're too slow in the final third. We don't look to worry teams. It's all pass, goal back, start again. There's no urgency. There's no quick form to play in this team at all. And we talk about wanting to be the quickest transition team in the league, and I do believe the stats kind of prove that we are winning the ball more higher up the pitch than anyone else. But when you've got players who, let's be honest, are thick as pig shit. Some of these players, honestly, are thick as pig shit. That when they get to certain areas, their heads go. I think there was one with Mount yesterday, and there's a ball. I think there's a ball to Garnacho, and he plays the wrong ball to Bruno. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you actually? What are you thinking? Like, and we see it over and over again with this team. When you get in certain positions, do the wrong thing consistently. And listen, we can talk about the manager all you want. Yeah, and we could talk about him playing certain players. We could talk about this and that. He doesn't make these players choose these wrong decisions every single time. And I don't trust a lot of these players at all. And it's sad to say after last season when a lot of them were really playing out the skin and got us dreaming again, got us believing that something could happen, and we could start to build. I'd be happy to see the back of it. Pretty much all of them. I don't think there's one I'm like. Yeah, Højlund and Martinez. I think they're the two I'd keep. I think everyone else you can go. Really, I don't really have any. I've never been player FC anyway, but like you say, Saeed, it's about making a team better. What are you adding to this starting lineup and this squad when you're in it? And a lot of them right now can't answer you. They can't give you an answer to say, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like, yeah, Maguire might say, well, I'm fucking fantastic against Fulham, mate. Yeah, you are. But when it comes to Man City, when it comes to Man City and Newcastle, you're just a lad with a big head, aren't you?
Nah, you know why he played well yesterday? Because the concussion kind of took away all the background noise. Do you know what I mean? So we can only. Do you know what I mean? We just need to lamp him before every game. Do you know what I mean? Just land the right on his chin every game and go out there and perform. Give us that Fulham performance. But going back to what I was saying about goals and stuff, it's not even the goals; it's opportunities. How many opportunities are we getting in the games? Like
I said that
we remember these one or two opportunities that we're getting. It's so sparse. It's just not happening for us. You know, there is no creation there, and it's all speculative things from like 18, 20 yards or just the right bad passes, like you're saying there, mounting into Bruno. It's just bad passing and stuff. And yeah, we're not creating those opportunities, and it's worrying because, you know, where do we look to change it? You know, players coming back and stuff, and the formation and. Yeah, worrying, man. It's worrying. You know, we need reinforcements in the forward line for sure. You know, right hand side again. We need another striker, and we're back in the same situation.
We need the manager to find a solution as well. That's it. We're not talking about the manager, but the manager needs to start coaching and finding out ways to get this team, fluid and making it score goals. But the problem is though, lads, we didn't score enough goals last season, man. 58 goals last season. 58. So are we expecting too much from this Ten Hag? Because we only scored 58 goals last season. I mean, I don't know where that was in terms of the league. Yeah, let me just look at the league last season. Where it was compared to other teams. So we last season got 58. Most teams got better than us. Brentford got the same amount of goals as us. That's crazy.
They got Tony on it. Tony and Bremo's going to get them goals. Do you know what I mean? They're always going to get. We'd snap their hands off as Tony and Bremo in our team.
Yeah, Leeds United, who got relegated last season, only got 10 less than us, which is mad. They got relegated last season, which is that's. I know they conceded 78. I know that, but still, they're scoring goals. And this is the problem for us, man. We need to be scoring. Like, if you look at the benchmark of what Man City were, they scored 94 goals last season. 94. We're 58. And this season, if I look at this season right now, we've scored 10? Let me look at it now.
Well, we're -5 goal difference this season.
Oh, fuck
yeah. No, we're -4. We've scored 12 this season.
Oh,
yeah, 12.
Because yesterday,
12. I think we're the joint. How many? But
Tommy's our top scorer in the Premier League, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Somebody. Yeah. 11. Luton Town. Wow, that's crazy, man. Luton Town are not even far away from us, man. That's crazy, man. That just shows you, man, where we're at right now. These teams are in around us, man. You know what I'm saying to you? So it's one of them where Ten Hag's got to find a solution, man, to make us a bit more. But the problem is, though, if we then play a bit more free-flowing football, does that mean then we are going to concede more goals and he then isn't as compact as he wants to be? That's maybe the situation. Maybe Ten Hag can't keep doing it.
You know what, Si? This might sound simple, yeah. But if you was to put Rashford, Højlund, and McTominay in the box, and you just had Delo or Wan-Bissaka or whoever on the right hand side delivering the balls into him constantly, once we're in that final third, and we're just constantly putting the ball into the box, would we not do much better than this continual recycling and trying to find these like perfect passes? We're trying to be like Arsenal of 2005-06 of the perfect ball, the perfect goal and stuff, the ball into the box and create these routines and stuff. And it's not working. The players aren't intelligent to make these kind of runs in and off and around the ball and have these 1-2s. They're not intelligent enough. So at this point, it feels like it would be better off just doing the Liverpool system of 3-4 years ago. You know, like you saw Trent doing, just whipping the ball into the box. Do you know what I mean? And getting Højlund and Rashford on the end of things. Because Rashford, we saw last season, he scored a few decent goals with his head. Do you know what I mean? He would look pretty deep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you know, he scored a few decent goals. And McTominay can score in the box. You know, so those three big lads there, all 6 foot, get them in the box, you know. And I hate saying that because I don't want to play that style of football. But when we've scored one goal across at a forward line and, you know, we're not creating any chances and there's nothing, at least maybe if the ball was to drop off a Højlund, the drop off a Rashford, and then there's McTominay or Højlund in that area for the ball to bounce to, just pick up that second ball to try and score goals. We've got something there. Do you know what I mean? So that's just a simple tactic, a little simple adjustment that we could do that whilst we're struggling for form and we're struggling with injuries and stuff. But we continue this recycle, and it's worrying from Ten Hag because, you know, he's not been able to create chances in that final third, and we're bringing to question his ability to create chances for Højlund. He's bought Højlund, so you've got to provide the man with chances and opportunities and routines that should be practiced and tried on the training ground and then played. But we're not seeing routines. We're just seeing kind of randomness in the final third. Like they get the ball, they get hold of the ball, and they have no idea who they're passing to next, or ball goes back to Maguire, recycled to Evans, and then it just goes left to right, left to right, left to right. Whip the ball into the box. Do you know what I mean? It's frustrating, and that's where it's got us as United fans at the moment, is the fact that we're looking at like whipping the ball in, playing that Route 1 football. But it'd be better than what we've got right now.
No structure. There's no structure to what we're trying to do, and that's the issue. You know, for me, it's that we're not having a style and a plan to know what we're doing, and that for me ultimately Ten Hag needs to sort out. He needs to address that.
I think he knew. Yeah. I think he saw last season. These players can't do what I want them to do. We saw it with Ranić. He played 30 minutes of Gegenpress, and that was it for his tenure. Yeah. I think we then saw Brighton and Brentford. Ten Hag trying to play the way he wanted to play. 2 defeats, and what he did was, you know, like we showed up that defense, made it hard to be scored against. And we did enough to get wins here and there, a lot of 1-0s and narrow victories. Now, obviously, you know, it's no excuse, but the squad and the back five, especially, has been decimated. You talk about De Gea going, new keeper coming in, obviously having a difficult start. Your 2 centre-backs not there. Your first choice left-back, your second choice left-back isn't there. You're having to go and get a scrub from Spurs who wasn't even cleaning the young players' boots. That's how little he was thought of. You know, that solid base is gone. So straight away, Ten Hag's on the back foot because he's scrambling. He's having to get a 35-year-old in who was on trial, and he's having to bring Maguire back in the team who he wanted rid of, and he played Lindelof at left back. Like, let's not forget that this back four defense, which is meant to be the solid base for our team, is absolutely gone. And then you're looking at, you know, he brought in the fish and chip Donny van der Beek for 60 million, who doesn't offer anything to the team. So the midfield isn't progressing in any way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? Like, he still can't get rid of players that he doesn't want in the midfield. The problem we have
Mount signing pisses me off, you know, man. You know that Mount signing, man. Like, you know, the guy comes off the bench and bro, man does nothing. Like, you know this idea that we have, like, this Mount guy. And, you know, he comes on the bench and no impact. Like before, at least back in the day, you'd have these little players that come off the bench and, you know, do something different to what the first team were doing. You know, Mount, what is the point? Like, he comes on, he does this. Come on, lads.
He's shit. I've never liked him. Never liked him. Never thought I would see a day that Mason Mount played for Man United. Like, I couldn't believe we was even getting linked with him. Never mind that we went and fucking spent nearly 60 million on a player in his last year of his contract. Like, again, I mean, certain things make you realise that Manchester United are a shit show. Like certain things happen, spending 90 million on Antony, going and chasing De Jong or someone, and then going and getting Casemiro, who I rate, by the way. That's not what the point is. The point is chasing someone and not getting them, and then missing out on Rabiot, and then going and getting Casemiro. Us going and chasing a player that there's links to him to Arsenal and fucking Liverpool, but was there anything concrete in any of them? It's all fucking rumours to make United feel better for spunking 60 million up the wall for someone who no one fucking wanted. That Chelsea didn't want to pay what we're paying him. Like, it just stinks again of United not doing due diligence. And it comes back to what Flawless always talked about. And we've talked about it loads in here.
Yeah.
The scouting network or the scouts at Manchester United are honestly frauds. I don't know how they're in a job because they don't do a proper job at scouting the right players that the manager clearly wants. You can talk about Ten Hag wanting him before and all this, but for me,
let me ask the question though. He scouted most of these guys. So yesterday, I had a conversation with big up the lads. I don't know if you watched the debate show, but it came back to structure and the club finding. They gave Ten Hag majority of the control. So he spent 60 million on Mount. He spent even the Amrabat now. Like, bro, what's Amrabat doing? Bro, no holding midfielder. Like, what are you doing, bro? We got no holding midfielder. What are you playing, bro? But again, even that looks like a bit dodgy. So I feel like I get it. The structure's bad. But Ten Hag has done a lot of mistakes, and for his style of play to improve, these signings that came in the summer had to make us better. Even with Onana, are we really playing out from the back? Be honest. Ask me a question. Are we really playing out from the back?
Because we can't with them centre backs. We can't do it, can we? So we can't.
So that's why I'm like, you know what? Like, but then you have to implement your style. Like, you have to. That means we should have got Maguire out the window by any means necessary. By hook or crook, we should have got rid of Maguire. Like, bro, if you have to take him to the reserves, get rid of Maguire. Look, Tommy, whoever's not fitting your style of play, get them out. This excuse that, but he hasn't got the profiles. This was meant to be the summer that bridged the gap, and you haven't done that. I got a couple of super chats to read. Deluded United fan says, more chance of Margaret Robbie blowing. Listen, you nearly got me there, bro. The low crossing a ball with his accuracy. Yo, Deluded United fan, you do this a lot, bro. You need to relax, man. Like, I can't get baited out like that, man. You know what I'm saying to you? Please.
I think someone horny, Okay, now.
Yeah, so this is Sunday night, you know what I mean? I know, it's one of them. It's what it is, man. HK Music says, I thought all the issues with goal scoring would stop when Martial was out of the team and a real number 9 came in. Martial was never the problem. It's the players like Bruno Rashford who are the real issue. Eric Ten Hag will wake up one day. You know what? Let me ask you a question, With Martial, he was his main guy last season. And all of a sudden, he ain't his main guy anymore. Do you not find that weird, guys, where... It's
unreliability. He knows he can't rely on him. That's what that is. He just sees that he's always injured, so he's not putting any faith for any opening. People talk about Martial or it could be Højlund and that. It's Ten Hag not creating the routines for these players. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. And I back Ten Hag. I'm Ten Hag in now. I want him to succeed and I want him to get rid of the deadwood and all that stuff. But you're seeing there's so many issues around him that he's the talent identification for the players that he wants within his team. We've signed maybe 2 good players out of the majority of the players. You'd say that was Martinez and Casemiro. And Casemiro really 70 million for a 30-year-old and a 5-year contract. That's not a great signing, is it? So
I thought that was a great signing. I thought that was a great signing because you know why? Because
5 years though, saying 35.
No, okay. 5 years is a bit extreme, but this idea that Casemiro's washed, this idea that...
No, I'm not saying he's what. He's a top operator. We all know that. It's just that 5 years, we're going to be stuck with him next year. And that's the issue.
Do you know why it's a bad signing? Do you know what? I'll tell you one reason why it's a bad signing. Because Real Madrid and Barcelona do not sell players that they don't want.
I disagree.
They don't sell players.
You could say
they don't sell players they want to keep. So look who they had coming in: Tchouaméni, Camavinga.
Well, they did want to keep Casemiro though. They did, but Casemiro was getting pushed out of the team.
He wasn't playing. Yeah, they wanted to keep him. They wanted to keep him as a backup. They wanted to keep him as a bench player, and he wasn't going to do that at 30 years old. So. He's like Schweinsteiger all over again. We thought we were getting some fucking mint midfielder.
You know what?
You're under decline regardless of who you are.
Well, we were talking about it 7 months ago as one of the best signings we've ever bought.
No, last season he was fantastic. I'm not saying that, but you look at it now and you start to say, you know,
that's because of Ten Hag.
There's a reason why Real Madrid wanted him to go.
You know who I blame? I blame Ten Hag.
Same with Varane.
Yeah, all right, double A. But what happened when they lost him last season? Who won the league?
Yeah, Barcelona. But let me ask you a question though. The way Ten Hag has managed Casemiro has been a disgrace. He's never rotated him well enough. For me, he's played him so many games where he didn't need to play. He didn't manage Casemiro. A player, if you know a player is 30 years old and you would say his best years are behind him, manage him well. He hasn't managed him well. Played him every game. Carabao Cup at home. What are you doing?
Yeah, madness.
He was playing well until that period. And obviously what has happened there, yes, I'm not discrediting the fact that he's had a lack of form and he has been a bit, his form not been there as much. But we've over-relied on Casemiro. And now, look what's happening to Amrabat now. Amrabat looks clueless in that midfield because the manager has not got hold of that midfield structure. They don't know what they're doing in there. And now, Casemiro's the same one. So
also rotating Casemiro, you keep him on his toes. He's looked a little bit relaxed this season, knowing that he's guaranteed to play in the team. Whereas if you can rotate him and you offer him other options, you know that he's got to keep up that high standard to keep his position in the football field. Do you know what I mean? So Ten Hag, like you're saying, with that rotation, and he struggled to do that over the last 18 months. It's just a situation with Casemiro now where we're having to kind of manage his.
Look at Eriksen. What is the manager doing, Eriksen, now? What are you doing, bro? Are you stupid? Is he all right in the head, Ten Hag? What are you doing? Putting Eriksen in the lone six.
He's scrambling.
And everyone's complaining. Eriksen's legs are gone. Why is his legs are gone? Because he's playing that lone six and he can't cover the ground. Yes, he's got McTominay to help him out, but you don't put him there. It's absolutely crazy what the manager's doing in midfield, and everyone wants to blame individuals. No, who do you blame? If the class is behaving like mad children, and the teacher's not getting hold of it, you blame the teacher because he or she should be getting hold of these kids and tell them what to do. You don't blame the kids. The kids are only a product of the environment.
You know what it is? You know what it is with Ten Hag, though?
I think
he's a Wenger kind of manager where he needs his kind of his set style, his set players. The moment any kind of talent drops off, then he's a bad manager. He's a poor manager, and he's not able to get those kind of results that he'd want with the players that he wants. I mean, having said that, he's got his Amrabat. He's got Eriksen, a man that he signed and stuff. So it's tough. It's just, I mean, I'm looking at the back line, and it all starts from the back. He wants to play out the back, but we've got Evans and we've got Maguire, and I'm just waiting and hoping for that day where we see a decent back line where his idea can kind of come to fruition. You saw that last season for bit parts with Martinez and Varane, and we look fairly decent with them, but De Gea let us down with the passing ability, around the back and stuff, and we've just the jury's still out for me. I'm really close to being Ten Hag out. And I would be if we'd played Martinez and Varane for the last 2 months and we're still getting these kind of performances and results. But the fact is, we've had Lindelof and Evans and Maguire in our back four. And I don't think, put it this way, they're not a top 10 defence. Evans and Maguire, they're not a top. They don't get into any team in the top 10.
Relegation.
So what do you expect to get going against Fulham?
Yeah,
they were relegation back four. So what can we really expect from them from building out the back and stuff? So that's the reason why I'm still a little bit hesitant to jump on the Ten Hag out. But there is many why you're looking at it and he's thinking he's making bad decisions, he's making bad choices and stuff. But he's had a lot to deal with, and I don't know, man. It's frustrating, like you're saying. And I was watching yesterday, having an argument and saying there was a guy on who was saying that you can't have a manager come in and then dictate the system for 2 years and then lose, and then get another manager come in and dictate the system for 2 years. You've got to have the club have a set structure for 5 years and then rotate managers off that. But I made the point in the chat, and you didn't see it at the time, but everyone's neglecting the fact that Chelsea have been one of the most successful clubs over the last 20 years. And that was Abramovich's method. Abramovich, they won 2 Champions Leagues and they won many league titles with that rinse and repeat, getting rid of managers and just getting your next manager on the on the conveyor belt, so to speak.
Yeah, but behind that, they had the structure to do it. They were buying players that the managers wasn't always wanting. They were building like Man City did. Man City brought, I don't know his name, I said it stupid yesterday, Tixi McBixie, whatever the fuck he's called, for Barcelona. Came in while Pellegrini was there in setting up for Pep to eventually come in and take over. They had the plan in place for him to come in seamless, and it wasn't seamless because he spent about $2 billion on defenders and stuff. But that's it's a process to get to where they are now.
Yeah, of course.
Manchester, and this is why I find it crazy that anyone wants to get rid of the manager. Like, I understand
talk to me because I do.
I know.
Yeah, but you see the issues, don't you, Double A? You see the issues, don't you?
But I know it's, you can't isolate it to the manager. It's not just the manager. Yes, the buck stops with him. Yes, it depends on him to get the best out of the players, but that they are equally to blame and what they're producing or lack of production on the pitch to what he's doing.
I agree. When they step on that white line,
he's not become a bad manager overnight, and I can't be.
I agree with that, but he's making lots of bad decisions. The Antony decision, letting Alvaro Fernandez go, letting Kovar, the goalkeeper, go, who's fantastic. Do you know what I mean for us? Signing Mount when we needed a centre back.
Do you know why that is? Because we did it last summer with James Garner, because they can't sell the players that actually need to fuck off. So they can't get rid of these players on the high wages. So they sell the young players because they think, well, at least that's something coming in, because we're fucking skint. We got no money and the debt is mounting and mounting. But
do you reckon this, Double A, let me ask you a question here. Do you reckon this season it's happened from the injuries? I've seen this form starting from pre-season and the way we've been playing in pre-season. I've seen this actually, a pattern appearing. The start of the season, we had all of our players. Yes or no? We had Martinez, we had Shaw, and we were struggling against Wolves. We were struggling against Tottenham. We were struggling against Nottingham Forest. But we had all of these players. So we haven't played well this season. I am seeing a continuous pattern of the manager not implementing his style of play on the team. And when that keeps happening consistently, you just look at yourself and thinking, what are you actually believing in? I get it, injuries will come in. They're part and parcel of the game. But there's been opportunities where he's had players in certain positions and he's not played them. And that's down to him. If he's not playing a holding midfield, though, when a holding midfield needs to play, and he plays Eriksen and McTominay, and we lose the game, who do you blame then? Do you blame the structure or do you blame Ten Hag? Answer that question.
Obviously, you have to blame Ten Hag for certain. I'm not saying he's not blameless, and I'm not saying he's not wrong for for some of the things he's doing. Absolutely, everyone deserves a part of the blame of where we are right now. That's what I'm saying. But all I can see is that from Ten Hag last season to now, he's not become a shit manager. He's not. No,
I've not said that.
I know the idea. Yeah. So I'm just explaining where I stand on the whole Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out thing. I cannot be asked to go through this cycle again. This will be the fourth manager where we're going through the same fucking cycle again.
Does that change how you should feel right now, though? Let me ask you a question. I
trust him to get it right. I trust him to get it right.
Like, that's more hope then. That's more hope then.
It's not hope. It's belief.
Nah, you know what though?
Belief in his skills. I believe
to back what Double A saying there, you look at the system and you look at the football that Ten Hag plays and wants to play. It's of that Johan Cruyff kind of school, isn't it? You know, the successful Pep Guardiola, Arteta. That's what he wants to play. That's his vision. That's his idea to get there. You know, to get to his kind of pinnacle. He wants to play that football. That the football at the moment is dominating world football. Do you know what I mean? So when you look at other managers in and around the league and available, there isn't those kind of managers out there to play that system and that style to the kind of the ability where you saw that Ten Hag has done with Ajax. You saw him do it in the Champions League. You saw Ajax before he came into the club. They were kind of like just drifting third, fourth, fifth and all that. He comes into Ajax, cleans up the club, playing fantastic football, gets them to semi-finals, gets them into late stages in the Champions League and stuff. So his idea, his vision, his philosophy, that's something that we want to get behind, and you should get behind really, but he's not getting close to it at the moment, and it is looking worrying, and that's the problem, is that the decisions that we are making, he is kind of showing that he's not following his vision, he's not following his idea. He's playing players like Antony consistently. He's playing Eriksen, deep in the six. Casemiro, the mistakes that he's making. Lindelof playing left back over Delot. We've seen Delot play left back. We've seen him play for Porto at left back against Liverpool in the Champions League. Play there fantastically. Don't get me wrong, he's not great, but coming on the right hand side off his right foot, he's a much better defender. Whereas when he's on the right hand side trying to defend on his left foot on the inside, he can't. And most attacking forwards you play against now, wide forwards, the inverted players, they want to come inside, don't they? So really, on the right and the left, you want kind of opposite-footed players to kind of stop him from coming inside and being able to. And you saw him do that against Saka, against Arsenal, shut Saka down. Yet he's playing Delot on the right-hand side against Man City and Lindelof, who's right-footed and played in the right-back spot.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, what is that about? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's some mad decisions.
Yeah.
He's brought him Mason Mount, yet he's starting Eriksen and McTominay over him. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on there? He's taken off Amrabat at half-time, and, you know, a decent... Don't get me wrong, Man City dominated the first half, but we had the opportunity with Højlund, probably could have had a penalty. We had the opportunity with McTominay, you know, that snapshot. Ederson makes that save to the right-hand side. Could have scored. We went completely away from it. It takes off Amrabat, our holding midfielder, and brings on Mason Mount. Relies on, against Man City, to play with Eriksen and McTominay against that Man City midfield to get overrun. And some of the decisions he's making time and time again, it's like, has he got the football IQ to take us forward? And that's the thing that's worrying. And you're looking and you're thinking, and he's not got the talent ID. So when it comes to so tactical decisions, a bit sus lately. Substitutions a bit sus. Talent ID, you know, bringing in players like Mason Mount and Antony and Malacia, whatever. Evans, okay, maybe it's not his signing, but where are the positives? Is man management, you know, there's a bit of disruption in the dressing room apparently, but, you know, all managers have struggled with that over the last 5 years at United. You know, he struggled with Ronaldo, he struggled with Sancho, and so where is Ten Hag's positives right now? That's what I'm asking. And again, I'm Ten Hag out, but I'm completely blindly Ten Hag out. I'm Ten Hag in, but I'm fooling myself because I'm frustrated with the amount of the conveyor belt of managers coming in and going out of Manchester United. I want to stick with a manager for 3-4 years and just allow him to fail until he gets it right. But Ten Hag is just failing, and I'm not seeing him get it right.
Just to jump in there. So you say Ten Hag is failing, right? But it's not just Ten Hag that's failing. The players are failing, and the club is failing. And this is why some people are asking. Some people are asking in the chat why I don't want to go sacking managers again. It's because it doesn't matter who you want. Zidane, De Zerbi, the kid from Sport. It doesn't matter who comes in. The same issues are going to happen and persist again and again and again. It happened with Oli, it happened with Jose, it happened with LVG, and it's happening again. And I said it would, as long as the fucking Glazers are at Manchester United. He has two idiots above him in Murta and Arnold, and he clearly can't say no to him because Ash is right in what he's saying. Yes, his talent ID is a little bit suspect. Going for 90 million for Antony is fucking stupid when Kudus was there and his other options. Diaby was there. There's other players available.
Yeah, Doku, Diaby,
When you've got a great structure above you with world-class people in their jobs as a technical director of football, who they come to you and you come to him and say, all right, I want Antony for this. Well, no, they want 90 million for him. Yeah, but I love him. Yeah, but we've got a dossier of players here that you can get for a lot cheaper that'll just do the exact same thing. And you work with these people above you. When you're struggling in terms of your job, you have a hierarchy above you who are great at helping you solve problems. Erik Ten Hag right now is fumbling in the dark, trying to solve everything by himself because he's got fucking Darren Fletcher, who would prefer to be on the training pitch, and he's got Arnold and Mercer, who are both fucking idiots. They go abroad and come back with fucking fridge magnets. They don't come back with players. They come back with fridge magnets from Turin and Barcelona. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So it's all right blaming everything on Ten Hag, but it shouldn't just be down to him all the time. And yes, he's making weird decisions. I feel he's lost it's all right saying as the players lost the trust in Ten Hag. I think he's lost the trust in the players. I don't think he trusts a lot of them to do what he wants them to do. So now he's because people are
starting to see that You've started to see that this week with him actually come out and say he's not got the players, his players are injured. You know, he has actually started to do that, hasn't he?
You don't trust him.
But what I'm saying, though, Double A, is I'm kind of hopeful that we get the miracle manager like the Amarin at Sporting, who came in Sporting struggling and he's turned that club around by himself.
Yes.
Look at Spalletti, you know, turning it around by himself. Because that does happen. In football, we've seen it, you know, time after time where managers come in and they make that adjustment within the squad. You look at Postecoglou at Spurs. You know, Spurs we've known for seasons struggle with Daniel Levy and stuff. He comes into that team and he's completely revolutionised that squad and, you know, the players and kind of the club. You know, everyone's looking at Spurs now as a legit entity. You know, so if
Ten Hag,
I thought would be that guy. I thought he would be that guy who'd come in. Go on, sorry.
we was all saying that about Ten Hag last season, and we started to believe in it.
There was still the suspect results. There was still the Brentford, still the Brighton, still Man City, still.
People are saying it in the chat now.
Was.
A new manager will come in and instill a style of play. We thought that when Ten Hag took the job, we were saying the exact same thing. He's going to come in. We're going to play this time.
That's where it's ending now. You ain't going to see his style of play now.
Players forget, fans forget because they're fickle and don't remember shit. It's the same thing happening again.
Let me hold on.
Club is fucked.
Let me ask you a question though. By 18 months, we've been 18 months as a manager. Would you have not seen that Manchester United should have had an identity now of what the manager wants by now? Can you see that coherently, week in, week out?
And I agree with that. And let's not. People talk about him having 400 million or whatever he spent. The club needs about the playing side needs about $1 billion. Like the players we've got.
But you're never going to get that though, You're never going to get that. That's the issue, though. You're never going to get that.
Exactly. Not with the Glazers. But you look at over 18 months of a manager being at a club. As any other manager that's been at Arsenal, City, any other team had the upheaval and the shit go on. He's had Ronaldo, he's had Sancho, he's had Maguire, he's had the whhole sale thing. Like he's even come out.
Greenwood.
No, I get what he's been on. Yeah.
He's even said about the sale, or we need a lot of players bringing in, and he's talked it up thinking a full sale was going to happen. That's been pulled under the rug now. So he's probably thinking, I ain't got a fucking clue who's going to be here, what's going to go on, if I'm going to have any money to spend, because the debt's not going to be clear. We're still going to be fucking skint. Like, I understand, yes, that it is separate to the playing side in a lot of ways, but it also affects it on a daily basis. And I don't think any manager comes in, any manager in the world, I don't think Pep comes in and starts having his team playing like fucking champions. Not with the structure and not with being unable to get players that he actually wants. He's still getting second and third choice players. He wanted Kim Min-jae, he wanted Kane, he even wanted Rabiot, and he got none of them. All he got was fucking Mason Mount, and we've seen how that works out. So for me, I think it doesn't matter what manager comes in. We're still going to be shit, and we're going to be here again in 2 seasons' time. And he's saying, De Zerbi's not the man. De Zerbi's not going to play football. Where's the style? It's the same thing happening again.
Should he not have said to the board, though, we don't sign Mason Mount? I need a centre-back. I need to put Mason Mount on the back burner for now. I want a centre-back.
Because he probably goes to him and Arnold and because he wants the player and he thinks, well, I can get him. This is my budget.
So that's on him then, isn't it?
But no, it's not just it's on Murta and Arnold not having the ball to say no. Spend the money wisely because you've only got this much and we need this.
Let me ask you a question. If we get Jim Ratcliffe next season, and we get Paul Mitchell, but Paul Mitchell struggles with Ten Hag in terms of player recruitment, and they don't really see eye to eye. Who would you rather take the knowledge from? Would you rather let Ten Hag more control, or would you want the club to have more control? That's a big question, If they do clash, we have to then trust the sporting director in Paul Mitchell to find adequate player profiles. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, Ten Hag so far, apart from let's say Casemiro and Lisandro Martinez, everyone else has been a bit iffy. Let's be honest. Antony, you know what has happened with him. Højlund's obviously young. Mason Mount, we didn't really need him. Onana's come in very, very dodgy. Start, obviously, give him time. Amrabat, again, is alone. Malacia, he's been out for a while now. So it's not, you've not got value for money. There's not enough value for money. So would you rather have Paul Mitchell running it, or would you rather Ten Hag?
Let me just say about this Paul Mitchell, the idea of Paul Mitchell. Everyone's talking about Paul Mitchell coming in and setting a long-term vision. He's never been at a club longer than 2 years, 3 years. So what we're talking about him setting a long-term, he's never got any kind of experience or pedigree in creating a long-term culture at a football club. So at the moment, it's pie in the sky, it's dreams. It's just, hoping that he's going to be able to be a good sporting director that's going to be able to last 5 years and set that culture. He's a great recruitment. He's great at recruitment. But when it comes to, setting a culture for 5 years, he's got no track record of that. So the idea that he's going to come in and do that, it's madness. It's just blind belief, because that's never happened in his career and he's never shown it. So the fact that he's going to come into one of the most difficult clubs to work at with some of the most difficult owners, and he's going to set that culture for 5 years, I'm just not seeing it.
Yeah, I think it has to be the club. Has to be the club. But I'm not a fan of Ten Hag. I'm a fan of Manchester United. So if we get world class people in their jobs, top end people in a director of football, sporting director, CEO, and they set the vision to the man. Listen, we want someone who's going to come in, like say Mitchell might not be the man, but we want someone that's thinking 10 years ahead, not 2 seasons ahead. So the plan is for someone that's going to be here after Ten Hag has gone. So the brand of football, the identity of players that we go for, all fit what Manchester United stand for. I'm not saying Manchester United of the past, whatever model the Manchester United owners are saying they want United to be in, that's what we go for. And if the manager can't handle that, then the manager's in the wrong job. That's what and it looks like it needs taken away from Ten Hag, because I said it last in the summer when we linked to Cock from fucking Leeds, and I was like,
yeah,
I am starting to have doubts about his talent ID, and people were trying to cut me in the comments for that, because I'm saying I don't trust some of the players he's going for. I don't trust that he went for Mason Mount. I don't trust that we went and got Reguilon. And that's probably not his signing, but there's certain signings he's made. I'm like, I'm not too sure about that. So I would have kept De Gea. I don't think Anana was a priority this summer, but obviously there was a pivot on that. We need strong people at this club that tell the manager, this is what it is, this is what we're going for, this is how much you've got to spend. We're not going over this for this player. So if you can't get in for that, we're going here. And then there's a real plan in place for where this club wants to be in 5 to 10 years. Because we don't have that, and because we're going by the seat of our pants, and it's just fumbling in the dark, trying to get through to the end of one season to see if we're in the top 4 so we can get these fucking Glazers money every single season. We go by season, and we see where we are at the end of each season. Until we've got a proper plan, proper structure of where we want to be, no manager will ever be successful at this football club. Don't matter who it is.
I've got a super chat here from Ibli Maghrib says, remember we had a DOF, but Ten Hag didn't like him. If Rangnick had stayed at the club, would be in a better shape, and his job
didn't like him. The Glazers didn't like him. The moment that he started talking about open heart surgery and all that, they were like, we need to get him out of the club. We need to get him away, because he was just calling out the Glazers consistently. I feel like the blame's been laid there at Ten Hag, because the truth of it is, he was firing shots at the Glazers, and the Glazers were happy about it, so they were never going to stick with him. So I'm not buying the whole Ten Hag wasn't happy with him, because Ten Hag, you're telling me Ten Hag's going to pick? I mean, if this is true, then it's another in the kind of list of bad decisions that Ten Hag's made. If Ten Hag's looking and thinking, right, I'd rather John Murtough as my director of football than Rangnick. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that Ten Hag said no to him, because Rangnick's he's got a proven track record. He's built football clubs, as you saw at Red Bull Leipzig and stuff. And whereas John Murtough's been the director of women's football and sports scientist and all that at Everton. He's in one of their poorest periods. So the idea that Ten Hag said no to Rangnick, I'm just not buying that. That's Glazers. That's Glazers all over.
Oh, as soon as he said open heart surgery, he was gone. He came in, looked behind the curtain, and couldn't believe the state this club was in. Couldn't believe what
we heard it from LVG, didn't we? Heard it from Mourinho. We've heard it. The only person we didn't hear it from was Ollie. That was the only one, because Ollie's, he's a company man, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? So he was always going to look after the company. Whereas Mourinho and LVG warned Ten Hag to not take the job.
Yeah,
that says everything, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean?
No, 100%, man. I feel like for me, it's one of them where, United have got to improve. I mean, I keep hearing about structure, but I seem to see things on a football pitch. I want to see us become a well-trained, well-oiled machine, and I want us to be consistent, because I know we'll probably beat Luton Town, and we'll win that game, and then we'll probably beat Everton. But then when it comes to December time, we're getting smacked all over the pitch. Newcastle, 2nd of December. Are we going to roll over for them? You know what I mean? Aston Villa on Boxing Day. Are we going to roll over?
Is that home or away?
Liverpool away.
Newcastle game? Newcastle away.
Away.
Yeah.
Away. Yeah. Even Everton away, I'm looking at. I don't know what our fixtures are.
Everton away, because our players, they can't handle that kind of pressure. They can't handle when the crowd's against them. You hear when our fans do a little bit of moaning and groaning. You've been there at the stadium, and then they can't place 5 passes in a row. They struggle to do it. They've just they've not got that composure, that kind of belief, the desire and will to kind of play football. They're all to use an old slate, so they're wet lettuces. Do you know what I mean? They're soft.
That week is crazy, though. So we've got Copenhagen on Wednesday, Luton Town, yeah. Then we've got Everton away, Galatasaray away, Newcastle
That's the one. That's
away,
the one.
At Chelsea at home, Bournemouth at home, which is fair. Then Bayern at home, Liverpool away, West Ham away, Villa at home, Nottingham Forest away, Tottenham away, so at home, Wolves away, West Ham at home, Aston Villa away. Bro, until February, guys, strap in. This is why, for me, I just can't see us building a consistency of style of play. It's going to be 1 week it's okay, 1 week it's bad. And I can't do that. I can't live on the edge, guys. I can't live on what my United team are going to turn up today. Like, what style of play? Like, I'll be sat next to Leslie in the Old Trafford. I'll be like, what United team will turn up today? And in the first half, will be boring. Second half, will nick a win. This is not sustainable, guys. And this is why, for me, I've just had enough with Ten Hag. I can't see his plan. He looks like he's thrown the towel in. I feel like he's abandoned all his principles. So why are you here? Why are you here? And I get it. The structure's bad. I get it. We can sack the manager. But what in the short term is everybody thinking? Are we just going to?
What can you see from Ten Hag that's going to turn it around? That's what I'm worrying at the moment. It's like you look at Ten Hag and you're not seeing anything where he can turn it around at the moment. And in these difficult moments, he is falling. He is sinking. Do you know what I mean? He's not thriving. Yeah. And you want managers in these moments to be coming out with puffed up chest, fighting, saying, "Well, players aren't playing good enough," or just backing himself. And he's constantly you're seeing. I won't say excuses, but this week he started already saying, well, I've not got the players. The players should be playing better than they are at the moment. I mean, we should be creating the chances. We point to, we've had one goal from our attacking forward line. That's not good enough for a bottom half team. Never mind Manchester United. Yeah. So, and that's as a result of Ten Hag not implementing the structures, not implementing the systems to feed the ball to Højlund. Because Rashford got 30 plus goals and assists last season. Why is he not getting it this season? Why is he not coaching his players to have that motivation and have that desire and that want to? And being a manager of Manchester United should be one of the easiest jobs, because you shouldn't have to motivate players to play for Manchester United. You shouldn't have to motivate players to play for these big clubs. You're playing in these coliseums. You've got fans with shirts with your name on the back of your shirt and that. You're gods, essentially. And that should be told to the players. And these players, they look like they just don't want to be there. You saw Martial against Fulham, final whistle. He's marching down the tunnel, doesn't care about the away fans. He's not going clapping, going saying his thanks and all that for the support. He's just marching down the tunnel, wants to get home. Do you know what I mean? Wants to get away from Man United, wants to just turn off. And you're seeing that a lot with United. You saw it with Ronaldo last season, just wanting to get out of the club. And you'd never think that of Ronaldo. And that's in the environment that Ten Hag's creating at the moment. I feel like he is a little bit devoid of personality. He's not one of the managers that kind of inspires you to want to play for him at the moment. He's a smart manager, and that's I think that's where he stands, and that's about all you can expect from him.
I think he has. I think there's players that will play for him and will die for him. There's certain players he's brought in that definitely rate him. What I say to Ash on that is Manchester United have been that for a long, long time. We are everything that we used to mock City when they first got money. Everything. Chelsea players are only here for the prestige, for the money, and for the fact that they play for Manchester United. There's no honour, and there's no honour playing for the badge anymore. This club,
not honour and pride,
it's soulless. It's soulless. There's no love for playing at Old Trafford anymore, because it's a shithole. We all know that. We all go. We all sit there. It's rusting. It's disgusting to go there. Like the whole club. It showcases. Old Trafford showcases the inner workings and the inside of what Old Trafford is. It's just a rust bucket with people sat inside just with money. That's literally all it is. And you see it with stuff Maguire. I'm not picking on Maguire or anything like that, but you see with stuff Maguire says, like, you can clearly tell that he just wants to be at United for the fact that he plays for Manchester United and is regarded as playing for one of the biggest clubs in the world. Not the best club in the world, one of the biggest clubs in the world. And we've become mercenaries, and we just throw money at how to go back to Antony, how we can take his money from 20 grand a week to 200 grand a week is one of the biggest crimes in football.
You can just play devil's advocate for a moment. Sorry, go on.
There's this question here saying, if Ten Hag gets 3 more seasons, where do you see him finish, when it seemed team finish ended that period. I'll be real with you, man. You can never answer that question why the Glazers are here. So there's
he'll
no
never
point.
get it with the Glazers. He'll never get it with the Glazers.
So that's why I'm saying, if you guys can, if we're saying that we'll never get it with the Glazers, but then I don't understand why we're saying that short-term thinking isn't going to be a solution. Then, like, what is it then? What should we do? Should we just, I know we want the Glazers to go, but as a football club, what you see right now, it's not acceptable for me to be watching 7-0, 4-0, 3-0. It's not good, that, man.
We need to accept, Manchester United fans right now, with this ownership, with Sir Jim coming in, he's talking about putting 250 into the club on his first day. It means fuck all, mate. It's a drop in the ocean. It means it's not touching the sides. You know what I mean? We need to accept. We're a mid-table club that looks for a cup run and tries to get top four. We're Arsenal in the noughties. We're Liverpool in the 90s. We're not an elite team anymore. We're a big club, but we're not an elite team anymore. And the sooner all our fans accept that and just live with it until these owners go.
We're spending elite money. Do you know what I mean?
Because the owners are pissing up the wall, trying to be what
and going back to
is meant to be.
And I know what you're saying. You go back to the stadium thing you were saying as well. You look at Liverpool when Klopp came in. Liverpool Stadium, Anfield was looking a little bit rotten before they started investing in that new main stand. You look at Allegri at Juve when he came in. The old Juventus Stadium was rotting, and they were still performing, getting results and stuff until they moved into the Allianz, I believe it's called, the Allianz Stadium. You look at Diego Simeone at Atletico Madrid before they moved into the Wanda Metropolitano. They were still motivating and getting the players at it in that decrepit old stadium. Do you know what I mean? So as much as we try and look towards making an excuse of the stadium, the pitch is mint. There's no denying. You look at the football pitch, what they're playing on there, it's like a bowling green. Do you know what I mean? It's mint. So to not and the fans, okay, we have a quiet spells. Do you know what I mean? But when Old Trafford's loud and there's no better place on earth. I mean, I'm going to say that as a United fan, and you'd expect more from the players. And these players, I think what kind of epitomizes and shows their character and their reaction is, look at whenever a manager's not wanted one of these players in the team, instead of saying, right, you know what, I'm just going to go move. I'm going to go look to another club, and I'm going to show myself at another club. They don't want me here. I'm off. Whereas the moment we don't want a player, they're like, okay, well, I'll just stick around. I'll just collect my wages and
Phil Jones, perfect example.
No kind of will, desire, no kind of like. I'll
show you.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't like him, but big up Antony Elanga because he did it. He's gone and shown.
Respect for that. 100%.
Yeah, it's gone over there.
Angel Gomez, another one doing his thing over in France. Do you know what I mean? Even Taif Chong, even he's doing his thing. Do you know what I mean? Like. Yeah. We don't have enough of that, and these are big established internationals. Scott McTominay, Scotland, Maguire, England doesn't want to leave the comfortable.
It should have been screamed for a move.
Mental. It's mental that these players just think, I'll sit here, collect these wages, I'll get a game or two, and people buzzing that Maguire's back in the team.
You know what's mad though?
It's good. The defense is decimated, mate. That's the only reason you're in.
No, but the problem is as well, the United fan base as well, I think they're a big letdown for me, man. Like, I'm seeing Maguire comps and that now. I'm seeing Luke Shaw's going to be the saviour and whatnot. And I'm like, it's been here 9 years. Like, I get it. Like, he's a good...
You saw it last year with Martial. Remember, like, Martial had that little bit of form under Ten Hag, and then it's Martial FC, you were back. Do you know what I mean?
It's too much, man. And that's the problem with us, man. It's that we keep saying, we're failing as a football team. 1 minute we hate everyone, and the next week, everyone's loving the players again. For me, you got to keep the energy the same, man. If we want to move on, and we want to move on to be better, we need to then get the mediocrity out, and then move on. But the problem is, though, the club doesn't allow that to happen, and that's why maybe the fan base are what they are. But listen, we're going to wrap it up here. It's been a good show, man. Honestly, what a show, people, man. Make sure you're liking the video, people. I think we're on 324 likes, 608 of you in the building still. Get them likes up to 400 if you can. And man, listen, Unfiltered podcast. Apologies, Flawless and Andy couldn't make it, but they'll be back next week. Big up to them as well, as usual. Make sure you follow them on their channels. Double A, man. It's been a good chat, man. Good United chat Sunday night. And therapy. It's funny, isn't it? How we talk about it every time.
It shows how deep-rooted the problems at Manchester United are when we barely spoke about the game, to be fair.
Yeah,
we actually won as well.
That's a great point.
We actually won.
You,
we
bro.
barely spoke about the game. And it does shows where we are at the moment. But, as always, Saeed, thank you so much for having me on, as always. It's a pleasure to be a part of the Unfiltered podcast. Good to speak a little bit more in depth with Ash as well. This second show with him, but it's good to
appreciate it.
To learn more about him as a United fan. It's brilliant. So, make sure you're checking these guys out, following them, subscribing to him as well. The best chat on YouTube. Obviously, big up. I see the hate and I see the love in equal measure. So thank you for that. No Gavardio shouts tonight as well. I didn't see one. Did you guys?
No, yeah, there was one. There was one. Come
on, there's going to be 1 week where I don't get a Gavardio shout. There's got to be.
Yeah, there was one.
But myself, AAFC, if you've liked anything I've said or heard, if you've hated it and you want to go and give me some shit, go and subscribe to my channel. Only just recently got over 200, so I think you need to go over there and show me a bit more love. Some videos coming out this week. MH, I am not Ten Hag out, by the way. I am Ten Hag in. So I've just literally said that for about 10 minutes with these two having a go at me. So I'm definitely not Ten Hag out. But no, I won't be here next week, by the way, because I'm going to be in Italy. I'm going to watch Juventus. So you'll have to miss me, guys. I'll be back the week after. But yeah, big up these guys, and I hope you all have a sick week.
Nah, big up, man. Honestly, big up to you for coming on. AAFC for the channel. And Ash, man, it's been a good one as well. Big up to you, man, for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate it as always, Saeed, man. Great having therapy on the Sunday. Like you're saying, we won the game, didn't we? But we're still here, not even talking about it. It's United, and it's just how it is. Thanks very much for having us, and always a pleasure to speak to you, AA. Enjoy your trip over in Italy and that. And boys, as always, make sure you're hitting them likes and subscribing if you've not already. You can find me anywhere, Ash Meppers, YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever you call it. That's where you find me. Again, as always, thanks for having us, and always a pleasure.
Yeah, big up, man. Big up to everybody who's been here. Big up to everybody who's super chatted, like the video. Whatever you guys do to kind of support the channel, man. Big up to everybody who's here, man. And like I said, we'll be back tomorrow for more content. So I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a wonderful Sunday evening, Sunday night, Sunday morning, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you tomorrow.